Rage on the streets of Paris. Protesters try to break through the police cordon, but unlike the last few weeks, the police are much better prepared, with security forces deploying a divide and control strategy.
We don't want any violence.
I don't have money problems, but I support their demands.
With both my salary and that of my wife's, we still can't get through the month.
After we pay our taxes, there's nothing left for us, not even a penny.
The yellow shirt protests, which started in November over a fuel tax, have grown to include more economic grievances. Pensioners, students and others have all backed the yellow vest demands. And this is where the situation is 4 weeks in. This is the fourth weekend of these protests in France. 4 weeks in, this is the situation. The protesters' yellow vests aren't giving up. To control the demonstration, the government deployed up to 90,000 security personnel across the country. More than 1,000 people were arrested ahead of and during Saturday's demonstrations, with the French Prime Minister saying that the government wants to help all French citizens but will not tolerate violence.
We now have to rebuild that national unity through dialogue, through work, in coming together. The President will make a speech, and it'll be his job to propose measures which will sustain that dialogue, and which I hope will allow the whole nation to come together, to be capable of facing the challenges we already have, and which will continue to develop in the coming years.
The French government says it has been able to contain the violence on December 8th. But the Yellow Vest activists say it'll take a lot more than arresting them to stop their movement. Ali Mustafa, TRT World, Paris.
Well, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan spoke about the Paris protests. He says they prove Europe has failed in many areas it claims to champion.
Do you see what's going on in Europe? They stayed silent against the people who wanted to cause a storm on our streets on the July 15th. The Yellow Vest protests show that Europe has failed on democracy, human rights and freedom. We are against both the chaos caused by protesters and disproportionate force used against them. The people who use Islamophobia and xenophobia to promote political populism, they have fallen into their own trap. Now Europe's walls of security and welfare are not being shaken by migrants or Muslims, but by Europe's own citizens.